Right now, there's a silent, invisible clock ticking. It's not counting down to a bomb or some physical disaster, but to a digital one that could literally unravel the entire global financial system. We're talking about the quantum financial threat, and this is the story of the race to secure our world before time runs out.
I want you to really think about that for a second. What if one single key could crack open every digital vault on the planet? Every bank transfer, every stock trade, all of our private financial data just suddenly exposed. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, this is the exact reality that the world's top financial minds are preparing for right now. So here's the heart of the problem. The encryption we use today, all those digital locks that protect our money and data, they were built to fight off today's computers. But quantum computers, they're a whole different beast. They play by a completely new set of rules and will be able to solve the math behind our current encryption with terrifying speed. It's not even a fair fight. Our current security will become totally obsolete.
And this is where it gets really chilling. It's a strategy called harvest now, decrypt later. See, the threat isn't just some far-off future problem. It's happening as we speak. Bad actors are stealing massive amounts of encrypted data today. They're just stockpiling it, hoarding it, waiting for a CRQC, a cryptographically relevant quantum computer, to finally come online that's powerful enough to crack it all wide open. So the data you think is safe right now, it's already in the crosshairs. So how on earth do we defend against something like that? Well, the answer is to build a brand new shield. It's called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC for short. And this isn't just a simple patch or a software update. No. This is a whole new generation of encryption, built from the ground up to be tough enough to withstand attacks from both the computers we have now and the quantum computers of tomorrow. Now, a problem this big is, well, it's way too big for one bank or even one country to solve on its own. The response has to be global, it has to be coordinated, and it has to be massive. So let's take a look at how the world's leading economies are banding together to build this global financial shield. And the scale of this is just immense. Leading the charge is the G7 Cyber Expert Group. This brings together the absolute heavy hitters of the financial world. We're talking the central banks and finance ministries of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US, plus European authorities. This is the team that's steering the ship through this incredibly complex transition. Their goal really boils down to three key things. First, the transition has to be timely. It's a race against the clock, so we have to get this done before the threat is imminent. Second, it's got to be secure. The new systems have to be bulletproof. And third, and this is crucial, it has to be harmonized. Think of it like a symphony. Everyone has to move together in perfect concert to make sure we don't accidentally create new weak spots in the global financial chain. So how do you manage a project of this insane scale? You start with some really smart guiding principles. Flexibility, because, every bank and institution is different. A risk-based approach, which just makes sense. You fix the most important, most critical systems first. A standards-based approach, so that everybody is working from the same rulebook. And finally, constant collaboration, because a shared defense is always the strongest defense. Okay, so we know the who and the why. But what's the actual practical plan? Well, the G7 has broken this enormous task down into a clear 6-phase migration. This is the playbook for upgrading the entire planet's financial plumbing. The path forward is really logical when you break it down. It all starts with awareness, making sure everyone, and I mean everyone, understands the stakes. Next up is discovery. You can't protect what you don't know you have, right? So institutions have to find and inventory every single crypto system they use. Then comes the detailed planning and risk assessment. Only after all that groundwork is laid does the real work of migration execution begin, followed by some seriously rigorous testing, and finally, ongoing validation monitoring to make sure everything stays secure for the long haul. And here's a really brilliant idea that's built right into the plan. The goal isn't just to make a one-time switch to PQC. It's to build something called cryptographic agility. Basically, it means designing our new systems so that we can easily swap out cryptographic standards in the future. Because let's be honest, this probably won't be the last big crypto transition we ever have to do. We need to be ready for whatever comes next. So we have the plan, but what about the timeline? A project of this magnitude absolutely needs deadlines to keep everyone focused and moving in the same direction. The big headline date that everyone is aiming for is 2035. Based on analysis from experts all over the world, this is the year the entire financial sector should have completed its transition. Now, I know 2035 might sound like it's a long way off, but trust me, for a global tech upgrade of this scale, that is an incredibly ambitious target. And to hit that big deadline, they're using that risk-based principle we talked about.
They're not trying to upgrade everything all at once. That would be total chaos. The most critical systems, we're talking major payment networks, core banking platforms, the really important stuff, they're on the fast track with a target of 2030 to 2032. The other, less critical systems will follow, aiming for that final 2035 finish line.
So here's a visual of how this all plays out over the next decade. You can see the phases overlap a lot. It's not a simple 1, 2, 3 process. Awareness and discovery, that's the big focus right now, through about 2027. Then the really heavy lifting, the actual migration work, kicks into high gear toward the end of the decade. It's this continuous, overlapping flow of activity, all driving towards that 2035 goal. Okay, so let's pull all this together. We've talked about a lot of complex technical stuff happening behind the scenes, but why does any of this matter to you and me? Here's the most important takeaway. This isn't science fiction. This is one of the most significant, proactive technology upgrades in human history, and it is happening right now. It's all being done to protect the integrity of everything from your personal savings account to the entire global stock market. It's pretty much the digital equivalent of trying to rebuild the foundations of a massive city while the city is still up and running. So, what's the bottom line? The roadmap is in place. The world's financial leaders are absolutely taking this threat seriously. But success depends on thousands of different organizations all executing this plan together over the next 10 years. It is a monumental challenge and, like we said at the start, that clock is ticking.